For this example, I've previously set up a job and its schedule of values. As you can see here, I've set up my schedule of values to allow for $8,000 for the concrete billing item and $2,000 for allowances. Now let's fast forward and say I need to move around some of the contract billing amounts. For instance, we want to decrease the contract amount for allowances by $1,000, and we want to increase the contract amount for concrete to $9,000. This will be handled in Spectrum through a change request, which is then flipped to a change order. To get started, let's save and close out of this screen by clicking on the check mark at the top right hand side. Then let's navigate to Changes on the left hand side in the info bar, and then click on the New Change Request button. You will notice here that the job and customer codes have already filled in for us. So I'm just going to hit Enter here in the Change Request field to automatically assign the next sequential change request number. I'm going to fill in a brief description for this change. Then hit Enter to move down to the Current Status field. To see my available options, I'm going to go ahead and click on the drop-down menu to the right of the Current Status field. Then I'm going to select Executed for this change request, then hit OK. You will notice that the origination date automatically fills in with today's date. However, you can overwrite this date as needed. I'm also going to make the approved date today's date as well. Moving down to the bottom portion of the screen, the two areas that we're going to focus on here are the Cost and the Billing tabs. The Cost tab is used to note any cost changes to the contract, and the Billing tab is where we will define the changes to our billing item amounts. However, if you do not need to make any changes to your cost as a result of this change request, you can simply bypass the Cost tab and continue down to the Billing tab. For this example, I'm only going to make changes to the billing side to move money from allowances to concrete. So to proceed, I'm going to click on the Billing tab on the left-hand side. Then click on the drop-down to the right of the Billing Item field. If I hit Enter here, I'll see a list of the billing items on this contract. I'm going to select the first billing item, then click on OK. I'm going to move over to the Amount field and make the increase to the billing item. Then hit Enter to move down to the next line. Here I'm going to repeat this process for the next item so that we can make the decrease to the second billing item. Now that I've finished with all items, I'm going to click on the green Save button at the top left-hand side of the screen. And then we will save and close by clicking on the check mark at the top right-hand side, which will bring us out of the change request entry screen. The next step is to flip this change request to a change order. To do so, let's navigate to the change request log on the left-hand side in the info bar. Your screen will show a list of change requests for this contract. Click once on the change request that you want to flip to a change order, then click on the New Change Order button just above the grid lines on the screen. This will open the new change order screen, where you will simply hit Enter to accept the next sequential change order number, description, and date fields. Click on the drop-down at the Current Status field and select Executed, then click on OK. Click on OK one more time to proceed, and this will bring you back to the change request log screen, where you can now see that this change request has been assigned a change order number 1. Now, if we go back into the contract, we will also see our changes reflected here. The final step that we need to take is to transfer the changes that we've made onto the draw request. To do so, let's save and close out of this job. Open a new sitemap and navigate to the draw request. Fill in the job number and customer number here. Then hit enter to proceed through the application number field. Click on Save. Then click on the Transfer Changes button at the top. Fill in the job number and the customer code, then you will see the system returns a list of available change orders that can now be transferred to the draw request. Click on the transfer box for the change that you need to transfer, and then click on the green Continue button at the top left-hand side. Click on OK to close the dialog box stating that your transfer has been completed. Fill in the job and customer codes here. And hit enter to move through the application number field. You can now proceed with billing using your revised billing amounts.